my mic on? Now it is. Okay, there'll be more about Mary later. Welcome and good afternoon. Welcome to Lake Chapalo's Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm Priscilla Taylor, and I'm today's service associate for this growing, journeying community. Reverend Matt Alspaugh will be presenting our message this afternoon. We welcome all of you to our service, especially those of you who are searching for a spiritual home. May you find solace, understanding, and connection in our shared journey. We're going to do a joint reading. I'm number one. Our opening words this afternoon are by Sherry Woodbury. Welcome, who come in friendship, who long for genuine community.
May you be graciously received here as your authentic self.
Welcome, who come in curiosity, full of questions, or simply open.
May you embrace wonder and encounter new delights.
Welcome, who come heavy with fatigue, weary from the troubles of the world or the troubles of your particular life.
May you rest and be filled in this sacred space.
Welcome, who come with joy for flowing rivers and gentle breeze, for changing skies and great trees.
May the grace of the world leave its lasting imprint on you.
Welcome, who come with thanks for the altruism of the earth and the gift of human care.
May your grateful heart overflow and bless those around you.
Come, let us celebrate together this wondrous life. Here's our announcements. If you're new and would like to receive our newsletter and other emails, please talk to a member of the welcome team or write to us at info@lcuuf.org. Members of the welcome team, please stand up. There they are. And I want to take a moment to extend a very warm welcome to everyone who's visiting us. Whether you're visiting for us for the first time or you've returned or reconnected with us after a long absence. As we pass the mic, who's passing the mic today? It's Michael. He's right here. I didn't even know he's right here. I invite you to say your name and tell us where you're from. If you're on Zoom, please introduce yourself in the chat box and it'll be read aloud in the fellowship. We'll start with the people in the room.
Good morning. My name is Graciela, but you can call me Grace. I live in Colima, capital city, and I'm visiting very good friends. And I'm so grateful to have the chance to be here this morning. Thank you very much for welcoming me. Thank you.
Bienvenidos. Okay.
Hello, my name is Bob Kraft. I got married in a Unitarian church many years ago. I've been a Unitarian. I went to seminary for 2 years. I've been here for 15 years, and it's a pleasure to be here this morning.
Anyone else? Yes. Gotcha. Right here.
Hi, my name is Audrey, and many people here have been inviting me for a long time. I'm glad I'm here. Thank you for welcoming me.
You're welcome. She said, do you want to do this?
No pressure. My name is John, and I am visiting you from Nicaragua. But I did. I was a member of the UU congregation in Springfield, Massachusetts for many years. And it's a pleasure to be here with my friend Mary, who doesn't want to introduce herself, unless, of course, she changes her mind and Devorah forces her to introduce herself, which could still happen. It's not too late. Do you want to know? You really don't? Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any visitors on Zoom today?
No, there's no visitors on Zoom today.
So welcome to all our visitors and newcomers, both in person and on Zoom. Here at LCUUF, we offer a wide variety of services on various topics presented by our members, outside guests, as well as our minister, Reverend Matt Alspaugh. We hope you'll return to sample this variety of thought and belief.
So I have a bit of a special announcement today. Let me get myself on the screen. This is about our Chalice Circles program, which we are reorganizing for the coming year. So the Chalice Circles are small groups of about 10 people who meet once a month for up to 2 hours in a member's home or here or online using Zoom. And these circles enhance your spiritual growth and connection through spiritual practices of deep listening, authentic sharing, and respectful silence. And they create a safe, we hope, a safe, supportive environment where you can speak and listen without interruption or judgment, allowing for deeper self-reflection and mutual understanding. Now, the monthly circles are organized around a theme, and you get a packet of materials that will help you to think about the theme. Themes are like belonging or compassion or hope, things like that. And these materials support your exploration and self-reflection. But understand this is not merely a discussion group, nor, on the other end, is it a therapy group. It's kind of in the middle, a place where you can develop a kind of spiritual intimacy with a small group of people, a small group of what I like to call like-hearted people. And at this time, there will be 2 in-person Chalice Circles that will meet on Wednesday and Friday afternoons, and there's also the potential that we will have a Zoom group. If you have questions or would like more information, please contact the following facilitators. Bob Coaches is going to handle the Friday group, and Bob is over here if you want to raise your hand or stand up. And I don't see Sharon in the room, but Sharon Thompson-Wilson, who may be on Zoom, will be handling the Wednesday in-person group. And then we have Mike Blanco, who will be handling the Zoom group. And additionally, there is a sign-up sheet out at the welcome table, and you can talk to Paula about that, and we welcome your interest in this. Thank you.
Our chalice lighting words today are by Karen LeBlanc. This isn't just a place of worship. This isn't just a fellowship of like minds. This isn't just a Sunday morning filled with spirit and topped with coffee and cookies. This is our church, our congregation, where we are building beloved community, where we are opening ourselves to each other, where we trust and love, rise and fall together. This is where we feel safe. This is where we know we are welcomed. This is where we belong. For this gift and so many others, we light our chalice. Now, having lit our chalice, let us sing these words together.
We kindle this light in celebration for the life that we share.
Each week, we come together to lament with, celebrate with, and care for one another in our community. Love is not only at the center of our UU values, it's also the opening that invites us to lament, celebrate, and care as we briefly share our personal joys and sorrows and our milestones. Just a sentence or 2 is enough. We'll start with the folks in the room, give those on Zoom a chance to type out joys and sorrows into the chat to be read out loud in the fellowship. As the mic is passed, Please share your sorrows, whatever you may be holding that is in need of our healing and caring thoughts, and or your joys, whatever you may be celebrating, whatever evokes within you a feeling of joy, peace, or gladness. Are there any joys and sorrows that people would like to share here in the room?
I'm Devora, and I have two. I'm just so happy that my friend John is here, and I just met his friend Mary, so it feels wonderful to have you both here. My other joy, for those of you who have provided rides for me in the last 3 weeks, I get my car tomorrow.
That's a joy for us.
Good morning, my name is Heidi, and I'm here to acknowledge all those wonderful people who are joining today. And also, we have a sorrow that happened in the last week or so. I have been advised to keep this short because we have a lengthy meeting. So, here we go. This past week, August the 8th, Bill White passed away. He was 96 years old. He was at breakfast with his beautiful wife of 71 years, celebrating their anniversary of that year. And he fell over and died. Bill served as a Navy pilot in the Korean War. He married Helen. They had 2 children, Becky and Bill III, who were with them yesterday at their memorial service in Springfield, Missouri. And Bill loved that area, but he also loved Mexico equally as much, if not more. They had a home here. They traveled for years since their first wedding anniversary all through Mexico, and I wanted to be sure that we understood that we lost a true member of this beautiful fellowship.
Thank you.
I have a sorrow to share. Do any of you, if anyone knows Michelle Reyes, who is our American blonde mechanic who practices out of her home behind the Ponchos here down the street. Her 25-year-old daughter was diagnosed with bone cancer in her leg a year ago. She's had a time, they had a blood drive. So being such a lovely person and a member of our community, next month, probably sometime after September 18th, we're going to have a fundraise event at Poncho's. He's going to let us use his place because that's one of his neighbors. And the family is in need of, great funds to be able to take care of her. I think she's at home now, but for a 25-year-old, it's much suffering and it's a major grief for the family.
My name is Jan, and about a year ago, I mentioned to the congregation that my sister had lung cancer and brain cancer. Well, they managed to get the brain cancer under control, but the lung cancer was still a problem. About a month ago, they managed to get the lung cancer down to down small enough that they could do surgery on it. And they did surgery a couple weeks ago, and everything was totally fine. They got every bit of cancer, and as of this moment, she's cancer-free. So I wanted to thank everybody for all your thoughts. I'm sure it helped.
Wow. Trudy.
We lost 2 members last week. Heidi mentioned Bill White, who was a special person for this fellowship. And we also lost Lois Cugini, who was a special member. And I'll bet someone is wearing an outfit they bought from Lois.
And I just want to say, it's always a joy when, Trudy, you're able to come instead of being on Zoom. Anything on Zoom? Oh, one more?
I'm David, and I'd just like to say a word for the people of the Ukraine.
Zoom?
Nothing on Zoom today.
Okay. So, we're about to light the care candle. We light to represent the joys and sorrows spoken and witnessed today, as well as those we hold in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. Let us share a moment of silence. As we know, the work of our fellowship within these walls and beyond takes our time, our treasure, and our talents. The offering we take each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. It's as much a ritual as lighting our chalice. It is a reminder of that form of love we call generosity. As we pass the baskets, if you're new here today or you're struggling to hold things together, please let the basket pass you by. Your presence is more than enough and is a gift to us. Please know that we give the money collected at the service to an organization providing services to our lakeside community. For August, we will be donating the basket to Asociación Pro Mexico. The description is on the monitor. Water bottles. Supposed to say something about may this offering be. Can you go back up? Oh, you've got it here. Come along. May this offering sustain and grow the life and work of this congregation. May we give in love and in hope for a better world. Now. Okay, our opening hymn is Wake Now My Senses. And this is where we welcome who you saw earlier, our guest pianist, Mary Doan, who's joining us remotely from New Hampshire, where she served for 20 years as Minister of Music at the Exeter Unitarian Universalists. You're it.
Good afternoon. I'm Paula Odom, and I am on the Welcome and Membership Committee. And yesterday, we had a new member orientation, and the good news is people showed up. So we had lots of representation from the board, the welcome team, and different committees, which I really appreciate. But most of all, we had folks that are interested in joining today. And so I'd like to invite them up so we can welcome them.
Excellent.
Great. Yeah. So they most have new name tags. I'll work on the ones that don't. So
Please go wide.
thank you for coming yesterday, and thank you for standing here today. And I'd just like you to introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, and how long you've been at Lakeside.
Hello, I'm Donna Toolman. I live in the United States, but I also live here in Ahihic, and I hope to be here from about mid-June to mid-November. I'm so very happy to join with you.
I'm Joni Franklin. I moved here from Southern Oregon with David, and we've been here almost 8 years. I'm really excited to be a part of this.
I'm David, and ditto.
My name is Emily Costello. I moved here from New Hampshire, although I've lived all over the U.S., and I've been in Ahihic for 9 months.
My name is Frank Watson. I'm a Canadian, and I'm a part Anglican, but that doesn't preclude my being a part UU either.
We'll give you one U. And I think this is for Chris. Yeah.
Good morning, I'm Chris Gang, the board president. It's a joy to welcome each of you into our community of memory and hope. Will you walk together with us, sharing the joys and the responsibilities of membership? If you will, say yes. Yes. Members of the Lake Chapala Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, you all, will you welcome these people into our congregation? Will you reach out to them in friendship, including them in your activities and of the fellowship? Will you be open to hear their unique gifts and perspectives? Will you extend a warm welcome to each of them, remembering that each of us was once a new member ourselves?
Yes. You can continue reading. We join our strengths, talents, and commitments with yours. You are a part of us, and we are a part of you. So becoming a member of this congregation is an important step, but it is only the first step. I charge you, new members, to grow in your faith. More importantly, I charge you to find and share your special gifts with us. Ours is a shared ministry. Each of us has a crucial role to play. We need you. We need your energy. We need your ideas. Give generously of yourselves, and your rewards will be great.
You will sign the membership book as a tangible symbol of your membership. Please accept a gift of a rose, symbolizing our hope that you will fully bloom in your new fellowship home. Welcome to the Lake Chapala Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Welcome. 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 You can take two.
That's a very nice touch.
Do you need two for the other half?
No, why
What's that?
Thank you so much.
Okay. When I read this poem, I found this is going to be a challenge. So bear with me, and let's see if I can do this poem justice. Matt will be speaking more about it later. But because it was such a challenge, I actually went home and read about the author, Jane Hirschfield, who is a very, if you are in the world of poetry and literature, very well known, many awards. She has taught at Stanford, Berkeley, East Coast, everywhere. And she definitely is someone for whom the challenge of words and how they can evoke feelings and just how the sounds themselves work within us. So I would invite you to take a breath, listen, and let's see how I do with this. The lives of the heart are ligneous, muscular, chemical, where birch-colored feathers, green tunnels of horsetail reed, where calcified spirals, Fibonaccian spheres, are edible, are glassy, are clay, blue schist, can be burned as tallow, as coal, can be skinned for garnets, for shoes, cast shadows or light, shuffle, snort, cry out in passion, are salt, are bitter, tear sweet grass with their teeth, step silently into blue needle fall at dawn, thrash in the net until hit, rise up as cities, as serpentined magma, as maples hiss lava red into the sea, leave the strange kiss of their bodies in Burgess shale, can be found, can be lost, can be carried, broken, sung, lie dormant until they are opened by ice, by drought, go blind in the service of lace, are starving, are sated, indifferent, curious, mad, are stamped out in plastic, in tin, are stubborn, are careful, are slipshod, are strung on the blue backs of flies, on the black backs of cows, wander the vacant whale roads, the white thickets heavy with slaughter, wander the fragrant carpets of alpine flowers. Not one is not held in the arms of the rest to blossom. Not one is not given to ecstasy's lions. Not one does not grieve. Each of them opens and closes, closes and opens the heavy gate, violent, serene, consenting, suffering it all.
Now we can go back to meditation. Yeah. So sometimes people use the clear sky as a metaphor for meditation, for what goes on in the mind during a time of meditation. That thoughts appear in the mind like clouds appearing in the clear sky and then dissipate, like on a summer day with billowy clouds. And sometimes the sky is just clear. And we find our mind somehow blissfully empty. And sometimes the sky is fully cloudy, overcast, completely full of thoughts, full of regrets or worries. It's still meditation, though. Still a good time with the mind. Kind of like our recent rainy days here. But we know that the clear skies will come again. And let us just meditate on the mind like sky for a moment or two. this time, this place, to be together again.
Today's second reading is Entrance by Rainier Maria Rilke. Whoever you are, in the evening, step out of your room where you know everything. Yours is the last house before the far off, whoever you are. With your eyes, which in their weariness barely free themselves from the worn-out threshold, you lift very slowly one black tree and place it against the sky, slender, alone. And you have made the world. It is huge and like a word which grows ripe in silence, and as your will seizes on its meaning, tenderly your eyes let go.
So there are maybe three jokes that I know by heart, and one of them is suitable for Sunday morning. So there's this priest, a Baptist preacher, and a Unitarian Universalist minister, and they're out fishing on the lake on their day off. Now, that's not me, I don't fish. They get talking to each other about their weaknesses, and the preacher turns to the other two and asks, "What are your worst sins?" And they look at him kind of dumbly, and he says back to him, "Well, since I asked, I'll tell you mine. Sometimes I like to get a little something wet, so I drive over to the next county and I get myself a few bottles." And the priest says, "Well, that's no sin. I have a lot of love myself for the ponies. So sometimes I take my collar off and I tip over the poor box and empty out the coins, and I go downstate to bet on the horses." And the UU minister says, "Well, you know, we really don't believe in sin, but I do have a weakness. You see, I'm an inveterate gossip, and I can't wait to get back to town." So, like the UU minister in that joke, I don't really believe in sin either. But I've come to realize that the whole idea of belief is overrated. Even among UUs, many of us spend too much time talking about what we believe or what we don't believe. And there's more to religion than just belief. Mordecai Kaplan, who founded Reconstructionist Judaism, taught that there are three possible ways of identifying with a religious community: by behaving, by believing, or by belonging. And I want to briefly explore these, both individually and how they're put together, and how they color the experience of a person in a religious community like this one. So believing is probably the easiest one for us to grasp. I mean, we're surrounded, sometimes accosted by people who call themselves believers. And they ask us, "Are you a believer?" And they tell us to just believe what they believe. We're expected to set aside the critical thinker in our heads and just accept all those beliefs on faith. So, at least so many of the evangelical variants of Christianity will tell us. There's even a word for this complete acceptance of beliefs. It's orthodoxy. And as we know, there are some denominations that proudly include the word orthodox in the names of their faith traditions. Behaving, on the other hand, may be a little less familiar. And by behaving, I mean following the practices of the religion. Islam comes to mind. So as a practicing Muslim is expected to perform the salat, the contact prayers, 5 times a day, as well as fast during the month of Ramadan, as well as to attempt a trip to Mecca one time in their life. So, as a counterpoint, to the term orthodoxy, there is the word orthopraxy, which is used to describe a common set of practices. Now, belonging, the third B, may be even less familiar to many of us. Judaism is, for the most part, a religion of belonging. You're born a Jew, whether you choose to practice or believe or not. And in general, it is not easy to convert to become a Jew. As a friend of mine discovered, there's a lot of study and commitment involved in doing that. I haven't found a term that starts with ortho to describe belonging, so let's make one up. Maybe orthogeny or orthophily or something like that. At least these are words that an AI suggested, and we know those tools are good at making things up. And of course, let's not simplify. Most religions are mixtures of these three things: believing, behaving, and belonging. But most of them lead with one of those. I think it's fair to say that Christians tend to lead with believing, Muslims with behaving, and Jews with belonging, for example. So where does that leave Unitarian Universalism? Where do we fit on believing, behaving, and belonging on those scales? Well, like a chain restaurant, when you get that little comment card that you're asked to fill out at the end of the meal about the food and the service, and if you send it in, you might get a free meal. What might our comment card look like? Or maybe today it would be a QR code. How would you rate you on believing, behaving, and belonging? I mean, if we actually had those comment cards, and I'm kind of thankful we don't get any ideas about this, Chris, or we'd be all over the map. Consider believing. We've all too often heard UUs can believe anything they want. And while that statement is not quite true, there is a grain of truth in it. We are remarkably tolerant of a wide variety of religious beliefs and ideas. We have no creeds that we recite together on Sunday. We don't demand that people accept any particularities in belief. And for most of us, tolerance of belief for us and our children is a gift of this faith that we cherish deeply. But even with our looseness about belief, there are still some things that we do believe in general as a movement. For example, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all people. In particular, we refuse to accept beliefs that only some people are saved and that only because they are part of the elect and they've been born again. We particularly refuse to accept that some group is special simply by virtue of belonging, of being born into that group. And isn't this a thing for some people these days? We also refuse to believe that any single set of writings is the sole source of wisdom. Now, every now and then I'm asked, how open would we be for some average fundamentalist who would wander into our doors? And I would say that to the extent that they believe they are special and their scripture book is special, they will have problems here. So what about behaving? We certainly don't have much in the way of practices that we expect everyone to adhere to. In fact, I can't think of a single spiritual practice that we demand of everyone. Contrary to popular belief, you don't even have to drink coffee to be among us. Now, we do encourage people to develop their own spiritual practices, but these can range widely from meditation and prayer to journaling and spiritual reading, even to martial arts and car racing. But even having a spiritual practice is a recommendation, not a commandment. Now, we have learned to be more demanding about one aspect of behaving. We have realized that we must set expectations on healthy behavior in the gathered community. I've heard way too many stories of UU congregations tolerating badly inappropriate behavior for far too long out of a sense of freedom of expression. One congregation I heard of years ago even put up with a man standing up every Sunday during the sermon and taking off his clothes week after week. Many other congregations have silently tolerated the loudmouthed and the long-winded, or put up with those whose behavior would have either gotten them thrown out or punched out at any more secular gathering spot. Now, as a consequence of this, many UU congregations have now created what they call covenants, written agreements about how we should be with one another in community. And we have done this here at LCUUF. It's even on our website, the fourth item. At the very least, UU congregations, including this one, are more mindful about what behavior will be tolerated, and their leadership is far more courageous in calling out and inviting people to change unacceptable behavior. And finally, there's belonging. Unlike Judaism, Shinto, even Catholicism to a degree, we do not enroll people simply as a virtue of being born or growing up in this faith. We find that most people come into Unitarian Universalism as a choice. And that's probably true of many of you who joined today. We value the choosing. Heresy. Heresy. Remember, the word heresy simply means choice. In fact, we expect our children to affirmatively choose to remain in the faith. And yes, we do worry that many of them leave the faith, even as we still value freedom of choice. So today we celebrated those who have come into this fellowship as new members. But what is the path into a congregation? In many traditional congregations, belonging is the last step. First, you must believe in the faith, maybe in the creeds. You must, and then accept the behaviors, the practices, and the rituals. And then finally, you may take the last step to perhaps plunge into the belonging. I think for us, it's different. Here, belonging might actually be the first step, or at least it happens relatively early. You new members can test me out on this. You decide you want to check out this fellowship, maybe because you've got some friends here, or maybe you have some Facebook connections, or maybe you liked what you saw on the website, or maybe you just saw the sign on the carretera. So you come down asking, not so much, do I believe what they believe, but rather, are these my people? Do I fit in here? Is this my tribe? And if you answer yes, then you might explore the behaving part, which for us is not so much as, say, how to kneel or how to pray, when to pray, but more like when to show up for coffee hour, or how much to share during joys and sorrows, since you no longer really see yourself as a visitor, but as a regular. And then you might really begin to explore belief. And you come at belief, I hope, from a sense of curiosity and amazement, rather than from fear or confusion. So unlike many other religions, our bar for belonging is set kind of low. It's low because we want you to be part of the LCUUF community, but it's also low because we think the real work begins after you join, not before. So in looking around for readings for today, I rediscovered Jane Hirschfield's poem, The Lives of the Heart. It's one I love. It's so rich, so sensual, so brilliant in its imagery. And I hope that when you listened to that poem, you realized that this was one to just take in, just to drink up. Belief very loosely held. Don't try to analyze it on the fly. Don't try to find a punchline or hidden meaning or, just absorb it into your poet's skin, soft and wrinkled from being in the warm tub of a rich life for so many years. Rilke's poem, on the other hand, is prescriptive in that it kind of tells us what to do. He implores us. He entreats us to take up another B. And this other B is becoming. Becoming. So this is what I think. Believing, behaving, belonging, these are all important. They're valuable in the life of a religious person, but believing, behaving, and belonging, they're just the finger pointing to the moon. They are not the moon itself, to steal an old Buddhist metaphor. The moon, for me, is what the religious life is really about. It is the becoming. How do we become spiritual beings, grounded, living balanced lives, comfortable in our own skin? How do we reach a point where we can live out our lives courageously, not necessarily fearlessly, but we're able to encounter our fear and still accomplish what we need to do? And what about the people around us, our people? How do we widen the circle of our tribe to include not just our family and our friends, our nation, but all people everywhere, indeed, all sentient beings? How do we do this even when some of them are behaving like 2-year-olds and some of them just have no clue about what they're doing? And for that matter, how do we figure out what we need to be doing? What is our call? How does our passion intersect with what the world needs from us? And how do we respond in such a way that we are filled with joy, so much joy, in fact, that it overflows to all those around us? Doug Mooter, a Unitarian minister, in a great article in the UU World magazine, asks a similar set of questions. Who am I? Why is my life important? And so on. These are important affirmative questions. You really can't answer them in the negative. You cannot say, well, my life is not important because I don't believe this or belong to that. You have to face these questions straight on. In fact, you cannot simply answer these questions. You have to learn to live them. To steal another line from Rainer Maria Rilke. That's the essence of becoming. You learn to live the questions, and ultimately you live your way into the answers. So what does this process of becoming look like? How do we make it tangible? How so that we can feel it? It's really hard, and it's harder to find words for doing it. But I think Rilke does offer some hints in this poem. With your eyes, you lift very slowly one black tree and place it against the sky, slender, alone. And you have made the world. But Rilke offers a hint of the world becoming a ripening world, becoming the spiritual understanding you have yearned to absorb and embody. He goes on, I continue, and you have made the world and it is huge, and like a word which grows ripe in silence. And as your will seizes on the meaning tenderly, your eyes let go. So we welcome our new members, just as we welcome all new and old members and friends and guests, beloved ones, on this wondrous journey of becoming. May we all, in our own time, live into the answers that becoming offers. May we all, in our own time, seize on the meaning of the world, vast and beautiful, which we have made. Blessed be.
Thank you, Matt. Our closing hymn is Web of Life. This is a new hymn to us and is part of a growing collection of new hymns being curated by the Unitarian Universalist Association as part of their virtual online hymnal called Sing Out Love. Again, Mary Doan will play and our song leaders will lead us. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing.
Thank you for experimenting with the music and the singing today. It's part of the delight of being here, I think. So may we go out of this place and re-enter the world of our ordinary lives, returning to this cycle of days, the constancy of hours, and yet all the while evolving, emerging, changing, and becoming. May it be so.
Let us extinguish our chalice with these words, which we read together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we keep in our hearts and share with all the world. Wow. Thank you, Mary. I don't know if you can hear us or not, but that was amazing. And I just want to say thank you to the tech team. I can't tell you how nervous I was with all these new changes happening, and it all happened and came together. Yaritzi, who is our newest member of the tech team, Fernanda, Barley, it all worked. Whew. So, our worship is over. Yeah, some great stuff. Our service begins. Go in peace and with a purpose.